First of all, thank you for taking the time to listen to my director's commentary of this film. These opening credits were actually not part of my original vision for this. What I wanted originally was to have the quote that you'll see in a second pop up before the film started about time being the most valuable thing, which of course is the title of the movie. But then when Ian Noakes, who composed the score for this movie, came back to me with this amazing opening piece, I knew I couldn't waste a second of it, and so the opening credits were kind of derived from that. Originally, I had a sort of DVD thing where the quote would move down to the corner of the screen, but then I got a lot of flack for it looking like the bouncing DVD thing. Originally, that opening shot, by the way, was conceived as windmills out in cornfields, but for scheduling reasons, for the limited crew I had, that never worked out.
Okay.
GPS says we're going the wrong way.
Dude! No, look, it's right up there.
And yeah, I was actually originally going to use a different parking garage for that shot of the exterior there, but I could never get the right angle on the one I wanted to use, so that actually is the same parking garage that we shot the interiors in. Also, notice the blinking light there. My parents actually thought that was a special effect, but that was actually just a happy accident. I originally was going to get a separate shot of a blinking light because I knew there was one in there, but it was just a happy accident that there was one available on the exterior. Also, notice how inside here the color grading is more of an orangish green, whereas outside it was very blue. That song, by the way, A Place for Owls, I'm gracious they let me use it. It's called Hourglass. I think it's thematically very resonant.
Still don't see a road out there.
It'll be right around the corner.
A lot of dead air was cut out of these shots.
Chase, how many floors?
There were a few lines cut as well. I think it improves the pacing.
What does the GPS say?
It won't load.
Let's just go to the top and try to get some reception.
Okay. Nikki, let's switch seats.
That line there actually came out of a necessity to have Gabriel, who plays Sam, get out of the car later, because silly me, when I was writing the script, wasn't thinking about the fact that it was only a two-door car, so we needed to get Sam in the front seat, so that's how we justified that. And it worked out because his character had an injury anyway.
How many floors are we gonna go up before we give up?
There can't be more
The
than
snoring
10. We
is
saw from the
actually
street.
me,
We've gone up
recorded
at
in post. I kind of did Nathan dirty with
Yeah,
that.
right. There's no way.
We've been here for...
If you notice, like, the sort of clanging noise, that's actually my
Yeah,
key
what?
only
clanging
been here
against
5 minutes.
the car. I thought about removing it, but that proved a bit too difficult, and honestly, I like it.
It's only 11:07.
Huh.
By the way, these title cards were not in my original quote-unquote final cut. Originally, I just had fading to show time passing, but I think it was the right call to add the title cards to make it a little more visual, and also we could have fun with it a little bit there.
The structure must be messing with our phones.
Look, I don't know how much longer you want to keep this up, but my leg is killing me, okay? I have to
You
go.
can actually see the cable there that connects
I thought
to
we'd be done 30
the
minutes ago,
mic
but
we
here
were
are.
We've
using.
only been doing this 5 minutes.
Sure.
Also, some rollerblades in the background of
Just let me
these
out,
shots
okay?
in
Come back for me on the way
between
down.
Nathan and Carissa in the back seat. That's one of my favorite shots. I ended up using it in the poster. Not that I think it's a particularly good poster.
Nikki!
What?
Sorry, I was just trying to wake you.
These shots
Yeah.
were largely done very late at night, and if I'm being honest, I think this scene could have turned out better, but we were
No.
all
I've
very
been counting the
exhausted when
seconds
we
in
were
my head
shooting
ever since
this.
Sam left. There's something weird.
Where's Sam?
But you know, in editing, I think I
Meant to
made the best
get out
version of it
before
possible.
down.
By the way, this was
Instructions
shot
were
over the
getting
course of
back from, though.
4 or 5 nights, and all of Gabriel's shots were done in one night, which was a very long night.
Well, parking garage, it's been fun, but I don't think this is gonna work out.
Jesus
Holy
Christ!
shit!
We had a lot of fun doing that.
Oh, sorry.
Keith!
Good God. Look, I just wanted to say, don't you think it's a little counterproductive to go down at this point? I mean, we should be closer to the top than the bottom.
What? I'm still in shock.
Okay, look, let me out here. There's got to be an elevator, right?
This whole elevator thing in the upcoming subplot with Chase was sort of born when I realized there was a massive plot hole when I was writing where why couldn't they just take the elevator? So I wanted to explore that. This shot was the first shot we did, by the way, and it was a bit of a challenge to get right, and I think
You were asleep for a while.
I'm pretty proud of it.
It's 11:08.
Oh, would you look at that?
Chase? Do you?
This shot I'm also very proud of. By the way, in that Dutch angle shot, you can actually see on my chin I'm wearing the old age makeup that I wear later in the film because we shot that the same night. That was just sort of unavoidable to get that angle right, and I think it turned out fine because I think other than that, it's a really cool shot. I'm also very proud of this sequence here. That skeleton, by the way, I forget his name. I think it's Tim or something, given to me courtesy of Ethan Gersos, who I've worked with for a few years. Very cool dude. Not sponsored by Pop-Tarts or combos. Originally, this shot was much longer. I ran all the way to that door, and then I realized there's just no point in this. It was just shaky, and I didn't think anyone really wanted to watch that. That vending machine is not in that location, by the way. I mean, obviously you can't see it there. It would be around the corner in the world, but I think the way that everything was edited together, I think it kind of tricks you. Yeah, again, this whole elevator thing was added to fix a plot hole that I came up with, but I think it ends up being a really interesting subplot, and it gives Nikki a compelling reason to leave Chase behind, which in the original draft of the script, she leaves Chase behind as well, but I don't even remember what the reason was. It wasn't very good. I think it turned out for the best because of this. By the way, most of the shots of the car on the outside are sped up. Carissa was a very safe driver.
How did you get back here so fast?
Thank God you haven't tried it yet.
Tried what? You just left.
What do you mean? We had to go all the way down, and then it took another 20-30 minutes to come back up here. Just get in!
So this scene really came together in editing. In the actual script, Keith's explanation that he gives to Nikki is a bit too convoluted, and when I was writing it, I really couldn't come up with a better way around it, so I kind of told Nathan that he could come up with whatever explanation he thought made sense once he understood how the time warping worked himself, and then in editing I sort of put together what I thought was the best cohesive explanation of it all, given all the takes that I had at my disposal.
Oh my God.
I had to mess with the contrast on my face a lot in order to sell this old age effect as best as possible. You know, honestly, it didn't look the greatest under these lighting conditions, and there wasn't too much that could be done about that on the day of, unfortunately. But all things considered, I think it turned out good enough.
I'm sorry.
Now's not the time to apologize. It's the time to make things right.
How?
Audio was a bit of a struggle in those last few scenes.
What? This thing
Notice how the color grading is about to change again, implying that they are about to see the outside world again. Also, I want to draw attention again to this wonderful score by Ian Noakes. Originally, the credits were going to have the sound of the elevator going ding, ding as they descend, and eventually a ding, ding as they get out, but this score was just too amazing to pass up. Ben Parker, by the way, introduced me to A Place for Owls. Thank you for watching.